Traveling after the age of 70 can be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. You finally have the time, the freedom, and perhaps even the resources to explore the places you have always dreamed of seeing. Whether it is a quiet river cruise through Europe, a guided tour of ancient cities, or a peaceful retreat by the ocean, travel at this stage of life can bring deep joy and meaning. But before you step onto that airplane or board that cruise ship, there are a few things you need to know. Because while travel can be exciting, it also carries risks that are often hidden, especially for women over the age of 70. These are not just minor inconveniences. They are real dangers that can affect your health, your safety, and even your financial well-being. In this video, I will walk you through 5 specific risks that many senior travelers do not expect, and I will also show you exactly how to avoid them so you can travel with confidence, clarity, and peace of mind. The final danger on this list is one that most travelers never think about, but could end up costing you thousands of dollars if you're not prepared. 1. Health emergencies while traveling after 70. Traveling after the age of 70 can be a beautiful and deeply fulfilling experience. But the truth is it also brings certain health risks that are easy to overlook until they suddenly become urgent. At home, if something feels off, you know what to do. You call your doctor. You drive to your trusted clinic or local hospital. You understand the system, and the system understands you. But when you are abroad, or even on a cruise ship, you may not have that same support. A health issue that might be simple at home can become complicated, stressful, and costly when you are in a new environment. Let me share a story that illustrates this clearly. Harold was 74, active, and in excellent health. He and his wife planned a Caribbean cruise to celebrate their anniversary. It was something they had looked forward to for years. But 4 days into the trip, after a long walk on the ship's upper deck, Harold felt a sharp pain in his chest. At first, he thought it was just something he ate. But when the pain moved into his arm and he began sweating heavily, he knew something was wrong. They rushed to the ship's medical center. The onboard doctor suspected a heart attack, but they did not have the proper equipment to confirm it. A helicopter evacuation was ordered, but bad weather delayed it for hours. Harold survived, but instead of enjoying the rest of the cruise, he spent it in a hospital in another country. The medical evacuation and hospital stay cost over $28,000, and most of that was not covered by insurance. Now, Harold's story is not meant to alarm you. It is meant to remind you that preparation matters. Even for healthy travelers, long flights and new climates can put stress on the body. One risk that is especially serious for older adults is deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. This is when a blood clot forms in the leg after sitting too long, such as on a plane ride or bus journey. If that clot moves to the lungs, it can be life-threatening. Air travel also brings changes in oxygen levels. The dry cabin air and cabin pressure can make breathing more difficult, especially for women with asthma, heart problems, or chronic lung conditions. For many, just being at a higher altitude can cause dizziness, weakness, or confusion. And while you may assume that your health insurance will protect you anywhere, that is often not the case. Medicare, for example, does not cover international medical emergencies except in very limited situations. Many private insurance plans also have restrictions. You could be left paying for treatment out of pocket, including hospital stays or even emergency flights home. So what can you do to stay safe? Start by visiting your doctor at least 1 month before your trip. Ask whether your current medications are travel-friendly. Make sure your vaccinations are up to date. And talk honestly about your ability to handle air travel, heat, walking, and time zone changes. Pack extra medication in case your trip is delayed. Keep a printed list of your prescriptions, including dosages and generic names, in your purse or carry-on. If you are flying, make it a rule to stand up and walk around at least once every hour. Stretch your legs. Flex your ankles. This helps prevent blood clots and stiffness. Wear compression socks if your doctor recommends them. Do a little research on local hospitals or clinics in your destination. If you're going on a cruise, find out what kind of medical facilities are on board and whether the doctors speak English. And most important of all, invest in travel insurance that includes medical emergencies and evacuation. This is not a luxury. It is protection, and it can save you from unexpected expenses and emotional stress if something goes wrong. Your health is your greatest travel companion. Taking care of it allows you to enjoy every step of your journey with more confidence and less worry. 2. Infections and contamination while traveling. Travel opens the door to incredible sights, cultures, and cuisines. But for women over the age of 70, it can also quietly open the door to health risks, especially when it comes to infections and food or water contamination. These are not the kind of dangers that grab headlines, but they are among the most common reasons older travelers end up in clinics or hospitals abroad. As we grow older, our immune systems naturally weaken. This makes it harder for the body to defend against bacteria, viruses, and parasites. An illness that might last only a day or two in a younger person could lead to serious complications in someone over 70. The same germs can do more damage, last longer, and cause more disruption. Let me share a true story. Grace, 76 years old, was a retired librarian from Colorado. After years of dreaming, she finally booked a guided tour through Southeast Asia. On her second day in Thailand, she stopped at a local market and bought a fresh salad and a chilled fruit drink served over ice. She was excited, adventurous, and enjoying every moment. By the next morning, Grace woke up with stomach cramps, nausea, and a fever. She could not keep water down, felt dizzy, and became severely dehydrated. Her tour guide brought her to a nearby clinic where she was diagnosed with a gastrointestinal infection caused by contaminated water. She spent the next 4 days in a small hospital room instead of exploring temples and night markets. Her entire trip was changed by one simple meal. Situations like this are more common than many realize when traveling, especially in countries where water and food safety standards are different from those in the United States. Your exposure to illness increases. Tap water may contain bacteria or parasites unfamiliar to your system. Ice made from local water can carry the same risk. Raw vegetables and fruits, unless peeled or cooked, may be washed in water that is unsafe to drink. Even hotel buffets may allow food to sit out too long or be handled improperly. Airports, airplanes, and crowded tourist attractions also present dangers. Shared surfaces like tray tables, armrests, elevator buttons, and restroom handles are touched by hundreds of people each day. Germs can survive on these surfaces for hours or even days. The air inside airplanes is dry and recycled, which can weaken your body's natural defenses and make it easier for viruses to spread. So, what can you do to stay safe? Begin by preparing early. Speak with your doctor about your travel plans at least 4 weeks in advance. Ask whether vaccines like hepatitis A, typhoid, or updated flu shots are recommended for your destination. If you take medications that affect your immune system or digestion, discuss what extra precautions might be needed. Next, pack a travel health kit. Include hand sanitizer, disinfecting wipes, antidiarrheal medicine, electrolyte packets, probiotics, pain relievers, and a digital thermometer. These basic supplies can prevent small issues from becoming major problems. When eating out, choose busy restaurants with good reputations. Avoid food that has been sitting out too long or is served at room temperature. Say no to raw salads, unpeeled fruit, or undercooked meats. Watch how your food is prepared, and if anything seems unsafe or questionable, do not be afraid to politely decline. Drink only bottled or filtered water. Use it even when brushing your teeth. Avoid drinks with ice unless you are certain the ice was made from safe water. When buying fruit, peel it yourself. Do not accept fresh juices or smoothies from roadside stands unless you can verify their cleanliness. While in transit, wash your hands frequently with soap and water. When soap is not available, use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Wipe down airplane trays, seat belt buckles, and remote controls in hotel rooms. Avoid touching your face after using public transportation or handling cash. If you feel unwell while traveling, do not wait. Let your travel companion know immediately. Rest, hydrate, and contact a doctor or your travel insurance provider for help locating care. Early treatment can make the difference between a short delay and a serious emergency. Being cautious does not mean being fearful. It means being wise. You deserve to enjoy your travels with peace of mind, knowing that you are taking good care of yourself. With a few simple habits and a little preparation, you can greatly reduce your chances of getting sick and focus on making beautiful, lasting memories. 3. Travel fatigue and recovery challenges. Travel is exciting. It fills the heart, expands the mind, and awakens the senses. But it also takes energy. And for women over the age of 70, energy is not just about how much you have. It is about how carefully you use it. Many people imagine travel as relaxing, but the reality can be very different. Early wake-up calls, long flights, crowded airports, and walking for hours through unfamiliar places can leave even the most active traveler feeling drained. And unlike younger travelers who may bounce back after a short rest, older adults often need more time to recover from the physical and mental stress of travel. Let me introduce you to Evelyn. Evelyn is 75 years old, a retired school principal. She had always dreamed of visiting Europe. When she finally booked her trip, she wanted to make the most of it. Her itinerary included 6 countries in 12 days with guided tours scheduled every morning and transfers between cities by train or bus every other day. By the 3rd day, Evelyn was exhausted. Her legs ached from walking on cobblestone streets. Her back hurt from hauling her suitcase upstairs in train stations. She was too tired to enjoy the museums she had looked forward to for years. By the 5th day, she caught a cold, and the rest of her trip felt like a blur. This kind of fatigue is common and entirely understandable. Our bodies respond to travel differently as we age. Sleep becomes more fragile. Digestion slows down. Time zone changes disrupt our internal clocks more deeply. A day of sightseeing that once felt easy can now feel overwhelming, especially when there is no time to rest in between. Jet lag is one major contributor. Crossing multiple time zones can affect your mood, energy, memory, and sleep for several days. Add in unfamiliar beds, noisy hotel rooms, or early morning alarms, and you can quickly become overt tired, irritable, or physically weak. This is not just uncomfortable. It increases your risk for illness, confusion, and even falls. Another factor is the pace of modern travel. Many tours and group itineraries are designed for speed, not comfort. You may find yourself racing from one site to another with barely enough time to sit down and enjoy a quiet moment. While this pace might work for someone in their 30s, it can be both exhausting and unsafe for someone in their 70s. So, what can you do to reduce travel fatigue and protect your well-being? First, be realistic about what your body needs. Build rest days into your itinerary. For every 2 or 3 days of sightseeing, plan 1 day with no commitments. Use that time to sleep in, enjoy a slow breakfast, or simply sit in a park and take in the local atmosphere. Rest is not wasted time. It is what allows you to enjoy the rest of the trip. Second, choose fewer destinations. It is tempting to see everything at once, but visiting fewer places at a slower pace will give you a richer experience and help you feel better along the way. 3 well-planned cities over 2 weeks are more rewarding than 6 rushed ones. Third, avoid flights or transfers at difficult times. Try not to schedule red-eye flights or connections that require you to wake up before dawn. Choose direct flights when possible and allow time to rest when you arrive. Fourth, stay in comfortable accommodations. Look for quiet rooms, supportive mattresses, blackout curtains, and good reviews from other older travelers. Small comforts like these make a big difference. Also, pay attention to what you wear on long travel days. Choose loose, fitting clothing, supportive shoes, and layers you can adjust depending on temperature. Carry snacks, water, and anything else that will keep your energy steady during delays or layovers. Most importantly, give yourself permission to slow down. You're not competing with anyone. You're not falling behind if you skip an excursion or decide to rest one afternoon. You're traveling for joy, not for speed. If you feel tired, stop. If you feel sore, stretch. If your mind feels foggy, take a nap. Your body knows what it needs. Listening to it is not weakness. It is wisdom. One of the greatest gifts of later life is the ability to do things on your own terms. Apply that same wisdom to how you travel. You do not need to see everything. You only need to be present for what matters. 4. Falls and injuries. While traveling, travel invites us to explore new streets, wander through historic towns, and step into places we have only seen in books or dreams. But for women over the age of 70, these beautiful new environments can also be filled with unexpected physical risks, especially the risk of falling. Falls are one of the most common causes of injury for older adults, both at home and while traveling. And the truth is, the unfamiliar nature of a new place makes falling even more likely. When you combine uneven sidewalks, dim lighting. So, how can you lower your risk of falling? Start by choosing the right destinations. Look for places that offer good accessibility, paved sidewalks, modern infrastructure, working elevators, and reliable transportation. If you're booking a hotel, ask about elevators, ground floor rooms, and whether the bathrooms have grab bars. When packing, bring sturdy, supportive shoes with slip-resistant soles. Leave sandals or dress shoes with smooth bottoms at home. Comfortable footwear is not just a convenience. It is a safety tool. Use a walking aid if you need one. Many travelers hesitate to bring a cane or walking stick out of pride, but using a mobility aid is a smart way to stay independent. There are many lightweight, collapsible options that fit easily in luggage. Be especially careful at night. Avoid walking alone in poorly lit areas. Carry a small flashlight or use the one built into your phone. Watch your step in hotel lobbies, stairwells, and bathrooms, especially those with tile or marble floors. Pay attention to fatigue. Your balance and coordination weaken when you're tired. Build rest into your schedule and take breaks before your legs feel too tired to continue. Know your limits and respect them. If you're joining a tour group, ask in advance about the physical demands of each day. Some tours involve hours of walking, hills, or stairs. Others may offer alternate routes or slower-paced options for those with mobility concerns. Finally, invest in travel insurance that covers injuries and emergency medical care, including physical therapy or evacuation if needed. Even a single fall can result in bills for surgery, hospital stays, and extended recovery, especially if it happens far from home. No one plans to fall, but you can plan to prevent it. With a few smart choices and careful attention, you can protect your body and continue exploring the world safely. 5. Financial risks and insurance gaps. For example, Medicare does not provide coverage outside of the United States except in very limited situations. Even some Medicare supplement plans that claim to offer travel coverage often have restrictions or low limits. If you have private insurance, you may find that your policy does not cover international emergencies, hospitalization, or medical evacuation. This means that if you become sick or injured while traveling in another country, you may be responsible for paying the entire cost of treatment, and those costs can be high. A hospital stay in Europe can cost between $5,000 and $20,000. A medical evacuation flight back to the United States can range from $50,000 to over $100,000, depending on your condition and the distance. Now imagine dealing with that kind of bill on top of being ill, alone, or frightened in a foreign country. Then there is the risk of trip cancellations. Life is unpredictable. An unexpected illness, a family emergency, or even a delayed passport can force you to cancel your trip at the last minute. Many airlines, cruise lines, and tour operators have strict cancellation policies. They may offer only partial refunds or no refund at all, especially if the cancellation is close to the departure date. Without trip cancellation insurance, many travelers lose thousands of dollars on trips they never even took. Now, let us talk about scams. Senior travelers are often targeted by online fraudsters, dishonest vendors, and even taxi drivers who take advantage of someone unfamiliar with local prices. You may find a beautiful hotel online, pay in advance, and arrive to discover it does not exist. You may withdraw money from what looks like a normal ATM machine only to have your card information stolen and your account drained. You may be approached on the street by someone offering free bracelets or flowers only to be pressured into giving money afterward. These scams are upsetting, not just because of the money, but because they ruin your trust and take away from the joy of your trip. Let me share a story. Mabel, a 76-year-old retired nurse, found a beachfront hotel through a third-party booking website. The photos were stunning, the reviews seemed positive, and the price was reasonable. She paid in full to secure her reservation. When she arrived, she was shocked. The hotel address led to an abandoned building. The number she was given no longer worked. The website she booked through had disappeared. Mabel had to scramble to find a last-minute room nearby, which was twice the cost, and she never recovered the money she had paid. So, what can you do to protect yourself? Start with comprehensive travel insurance. Choose a policy that includes international medical coverage, emergency evacuation, trip cancellation, lost luggage, and trip interruption. Read the fine print and ask questions before you buy. Make sure the policy will reimburse you for actual costs if something goes wrong. Check your current health insurance plan. If it does not provide international coverage, purchase a supplemental policy for your trip. When booking accommodations or tours, use only well-known and trusted websites. Avoid unfamiliar travel agencies or online deals that seem too good to be true. If possible, book directly through hotel websites or large verified platforms. Use credit cards that offer fraud protection and built-in travel coverage. Avoid wire transfers or prepaid debit cards when paying for reservations. When withdrawing cash, use ATMs located inside banks or major hotel lobbies. Standalone machines in tourist areas are more likely to be tampered with. Always cover your keypad when entering your PIN number. And finally, be cautious with unsolicited offers. If someone approaches you with a free gift, a special deal, or a friendly offer that feels too perfect, it is okay to smile and walk away. Being careful with your money is not about being fearful. It is about respecting what you have worked hard to save and making sure your trip brings joy, not regret. You deserve to travel safely, confidently, and without unnecessary financial stress. With just a bit of preparation and awareness, you can protect yourself from the risks that so many others wish they had seen in advance.